Mike, when we were talking ahead of time about trying to get somebody trying to get their start in the music industry, one of the things that we talked about were the top five most in demand roles in the music industry today. Now, this is evolving all the time, and some of these are arguable that perhaps we're missing one or two, but for the most part, these seems pretty solid. So let's go through those one by one, if you don't mind, just talking about what somebody would need in order to get started as in that particular in-demand role in the music industry today. So the first one would be the booking agent, being a good booking agent. What would somebody need to get started as a booking agent today?
Yeah, so the reason booking agents are so in demand is most artists, especially as they're developing, and then even once they're developed, need somebody to be able to create opportunities and get them out on the road and book their engagements and make sure that they're getting paid what they're worth. To get started as a booking agent, just like being a manager, you can find an artist, and if you understand the way that deals are cut and have relationships with promoters. Like I said, there's some software tools that you're going to need down the line to be able to issue contracts and be able to issue statements to your artist. Those are things that you're going to need eventually. But one of the things with being a booking agent is it is a craft, and so many people start out by working for another booking agent or an agency itself, but it's not mandatory to do so.
Gotcha. Second one being managers. You hear all the time artists looking for a manager. What does somebody need to get started as a manager today?
Well, from my perspective, a manager you have to have experience. You've got to be able to guide an artist through the complexity of their career and create opportunities for them. We talked a lot about the various roles. A manager is going to be the one that puts into place all of the people in those roles and then make sure that they're in communication. They're in the proper communication channels. They're being updated on all of the opportunities, and they're doing the job that they need to do. That said, those are things that can be learned as you go along. So you really just need to be someone who can effectively communicate, with your artists and create opportunities for your artists. So the barrier to entry is low, but again, you're only going to be as good as the opportunities you can create, and oftentimes those opportunities are created, through the relationships that you've developed over your career.
So the third one on the list is how you got started once you moved out from the DIY world, which is road crew, road manager. So how would somebody get started in order to become a road manager, road crew, and where is the demand exactly in the industry for those roles now?
Yeah, I mean, people, the road is can be a very challenging place, especially as bands are coming up. You shove multiple people into small confined spaces and send them out, and for long periods of time, and there's a lot of interpersonal dynamics at play, and artists are more, oftentimes artists are more than capable of taking care of themselves, but there does come a time that they want to have other people that can help take care of them. So whether that be someone going along and selling the merchandise for them, or going along and acting as the tour manager, or doing sound, those are great ways to get your foot in the door. If you think about being in small spaces with lots of people for long periods of time, you typically want to do that with somebody that you know. So most people, myself included, got our first opportunities with artists that we actually knew, who liked us, thought that we could do the job that we said we could do. And then you get out on the road. As you continue to do that and show that you're capable of doing a good job, and as artists grow, they don't necessarily need to take out their friends or people they know anymore. They're looking for the best possible professionals that they can get for the price that they've got within their budgets. So once you're out there for a considerable amount of time, you start to build your network, and jobs are more easy to find once you've done that.
Gotcha. Now, the last two roles are relatively new roles in the music industry. The first one being content creators, videographers, visualizers, in particular, was the one that jumped out at me as being a new one.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked. One of the things that we say is great content done consistently over time is how an artist really has a shot at growing and breaking out. So, the content, of course, is going to start with the music, but from there, you really need to ensure that you've got all of these other things working in tandem with your music, whether they be videos, visualizers, your graphics, all of those things that go along with it. And so many artists, need that out of the gates as they're trying to promote the music that they've, typically self-funded and are self-distributing, or being able to distribute through, a partner that is able to get it out there for them. And so that's a really, really crucial and pivotal role that is very common in the business now. We use those people for our artists, on the both on the record label and on the management side all the time.
Gotcha. And the fifth and final one of these top five roles in current high demand in the music industry today is the social media and marketing experts.
Yeah. So once you've got all that great content, you've got the great music, you've got the visuals that go along with it, the visualizers, you got to implement it and you got to get it out there to your fans and people who you think might be your fans. So as you're trying to get out on the road and tour, you're able to promote yourself online. And as the algorithms change and as the platforms make it so you've got to be more and more savvy and potentially spend money to get into the eyes and ears of the people that you want to hear your band to become fans of it, you need those experts to help implement that stuff for you. So that's a great role that is recent nowadays.